Richard, first of all, congratulations on Cannes and the standing ovation. And
thank you very much.
What was that like?
Surreal, very surreal. It kind of, my face hurt from smiling too much by the end of the day.
And tell me about, because I know Elton's been very, very involved in this movie. So what was your first meeting with Elton like?
I didn't meet Elton until after filming had finished, actually.
Wow.
He invited me over for dinner at his house with Taron just before Christmas. So got to meet him there, and that was kind of, it was a special moment.
In his house.
In his house.
Surreal.
It was surreal because I was kind of terrified to meet him. You know, obviously it's Elton John. And he just disarms you completely and is the most kind, gentle, lovely man.
How much did you know about John Reid?
Very little before, and he was quite a tough one to research because he was always in the shadows and in the background. So there's not a bunch of YouTube videos I can watch or even print interviews I can read with him. That he was the man behind Elton. So I had to kind of rely on talking to people who'd worked for him or with him or friends of his, past and present, and try and pull out as many stories as I could to work out who this man was.
And did he sound as bad as when we're watching the movie we think he is? Because I never knew all these things about him. It was fascinating watching the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really interesting. I speak to people who'd say that John Reid was the most fun person on a night out. You'd want to be with him. He'd take you to the best parties. You'd have the most fun time. Yeah. And then other people would say this is one of the most terrifying men you could ever meet. Like, don't make eye contact with him. He's frightening and really, a shark when it comes to business. So I'd hear all these very different stories about him, and I had to kind of choose what elements am I going to use for what scenes.
We've got him down perfectly then. You did a great job. It was complicated, right? Because he was his manager and his lover.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they were in a relationship for 5 years together before John Reid started managing Elton. So it came from a place of love and then being together, and then, progressed into being a working relationship. And then we see where that ended up.
And then why did it last after they split up? How did he continue being his manager for so long? Was that like contracts? Was it down to like contracts?
I don't know. That's probably a question for Elton. But I think, at the end of it, he was very good at his job.
Yeah, he was good.
He was very good at the job that he did with Elton.
So there is the love scene between you and Taron, and a very important part of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people are like fascinated by the love scene. But tell me, because it is very. It's a specific reason it is important to the story, isn't it?
Well, it's the first time Elton John made love. So that's like a huge turning point in his life. And for us in the film, that was a huge pivotal point which went into the next section of Elton's life of having this loving relationship, being in love, which then turned into a working relationship. But I think it was an important moment for Elton and for the film, where you get to see these two men falling in love with each other and how delicate they can be with each other. I think it's a really important part of Elton's beginning of that story.
Love scenes are never easy. So
no, they're not.
Never fun. So does it make it even harder doing it with a guy, or is there just no difference?
The only thing that's more difficult is you might end up with some stubble rash, which you don't usually get on stage on set with an actress. But no, there's no difference to it because it's about two characters. It's about intimacy and usually what I do is try and look after the other actor I'm with on set to kind of take away from your own anxiety and self-consciousness. And I know it was Taron's first love-making scene he'd done ever. So, and I've done a bunch of them before, so kind of that was the focus, was kind of look after your other actor.
So you're like, we got this.
No, I'm like, I hate this, but, it's really important for the scene and for the story.
Taron said he thought it was easier to do it with a guy rather than a woman you don't get on with.
Yeah, anything's easier to do with someone you get on with, I suppose, than don't get on with, especially when you're having to be physically very close to each other.
And I know, even though he jests, you're good mates, aren't you?
We're very good mates, yeah. He's the best thing I've taken from this film is I've got this brilliant new friend.
So it must just be incredible going on this journey together, which is turning out to be pretty epic, right?
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. I know how much prep he put into this over how many years. He's a harder working actor than anyone I've ever met, really. So I'm proud that the film's you know, having such a good response from people, and so many people like him and Dexter worked very hard for a number of years.
Reviews. I know everybody's asking you about Game of Thrones, so of course I have to ask you, will you be watching tonight?
I won't be watching tonight because I need to sleep, because I have a big day tomorrow, so I'm going to have to
big premiere tomorrow.
Walk about with my fingers in my ears to kind of avoid spoilers for the next day or two.
So where is there like a group of friends you'll watch it with when you do eventually watch? Will you sit down alone?
I'll probably watch this on a plane at some point. That's when I'll get a chance to have
like that'll be the next minute I get to like sit down and watch something. Have you watched any of this season?
Yeah, I'm up to episode 4, so I've got, you know, I'll have 2 to catch up on.
You liking it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I love David and Dan are geniuses, so I'm glad they're really smashing it, I think.
You posted a cute throwback picture from 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years.
Of you with Kit and Alfie. My goodness, you look like babies.
We were babies.
You were babies.
It was 10 years ago, yeah.
Is it just surreal when you look at those images? And
yeah, it's quite strange to be like, that was after our first read-through of this, you know, this Game of Thrones thing that we didn't know what it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like a cult niche show, and, you know, it turned out to be a little bit bigger than that.
And Bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
Congratulations and another hit.
Looking
forward to the second season of that.
Yeah, I can't wait to kind of get. We don't know when or what's going to happen with it. We're going to leave it a little space because I think David Budd had quite a rough time of it. So we're going to kind of leave it a little while and try and come up with something different and does it justice. I'm interested in what has been going on in David Budd. If we catch up with him a year and a half in the future, 2 years after that event, you know, where he's at mentally and what's going on in his life.
We're all interested. We all want David back. Thank you so much.
Thank
and again,
you
congratulations on this.
Thank you so very much.
So great.
One more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell and never miss a video.